Okay, the moment of truth has come, or it's not even really a truth, it's just going to happen, and we're just going to get into it. So I finally waited for this thing to stop moving, 3 days or so power reserve, and actually, let me, I feel like advancing it past that time, and yep, we're just going to get into opening the case and pulling out the movement. Finally got all my pieces, NH35 movement, cushion, watch case, movement holder from Bergeon, some tools for setting the hands, some new ones. I had some older ones that were just, they worked, but I just wanted a new set, and some for some levers for removing the hands themselves, something to put the movement and parts into. What else is there? That's pretty much it. So we're going to get right into it. This has been loosened up from before. I did, because I knew I was going to get right into it. Let's see. Just use, just undo it. Just want to scratch the case. This, I guess I'm going to put on one side. Hopefully everything can fit in there. The first thing we need to do is, I'll try to zoom in for you. Pretty standard affair. There should be basically a button that you push right about there, I believe, and right in there there's a little dot right on there. So I am going to push it down with this, and that's how you just pull it out. Oops, sorry, off camera, but I pushed it down and I just pulled it out. That's right there. I'm trying to point to little dot right there. Anyways, I'm trying to avoid letting the rotor move too much, because we don't want it to start moving the hands. Tap that out, and that comes right out. We want to keep the case down because we don't want any dust to fall. As much as possible, we want to try to keep this thing clean and not let the dust get underneath the crystal, right? In fact, let me really quickly, just to save on some space here, just quickly back up here. I'm going to just put this on so I can save some space on this little tray, and I can put that to the side. Now what I have to do though, I do have to put the crown back in, and that's going to go inside like that somewhere. Let's see. Okay, that should be it. And see, oh, I feel it go in. There we go. 1, 2. That should set the hands. So what I'm going to do is just try to get them aligned with the second's hand. So I want to try to get them all on one part like that as much as possible. At least the handset, the main handset, is still hacked right now. And then I'm going to try to pop those off. And what I need is, I have a sandwich bag here. Which I will cut, I don't know, generous size here like that. And is this too thick? I think I can just open it up a little. So I'm going to just cut one side open. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to hopefully need it again, but we'll just do something like that. Set this aside. And I believe I just put this right over the movement, like so. And I have to let you know, I've never used this method before with these tools. I usually use the plunger style, but that seems always a bit brutal for some reason. Just like that thing pushing down and that thing kind of trying to claw underneath and pull it up. And so you got to push down and pull up and the handset should pop out. But anyways, this should do the trick if I get under it just right. Just carefully pop the hands off like so. Hopefully I did not damage the dial. It should not have. This is what this is for. I had a Bergeon little thin plastic card looking thing that you could use. It's supposed to slip underneath the handset and the dial, between that and the dial. It's supposed to help protect it, but I found that it didn't really do that. It actually had scratches. So we're just going to let these slide on off over there for now, and no big deal. I will rearrange them later. And look, looks like the dial is just fine. Perfect. Now we're going to remove the dial, set that aside in there. Should just come right out. Just a little bit of negotiating around the edges. Okay. Put this down, so move it steady. There we go. And I'm going to set that somewhere on the inside if I can. Move case. Well, you know what? I'm going to leave the case on the outside. I don't think it's going to do much in terms of getting dust, since I got basically the thing sealed anyways, more or less. So just close the back and it shouldn't go sleep through the crown. So I got the dial there, and then we're going to remove the handset again, the crown rather. So I'm going to push, I believe, let's see, push all the way down. Yeah, so that little piece right in there pops out right there where my finger was pointing at. See that little dot? Yeah, that when you push it down, that goes all the way down, and it pops that on so that you can get to that button or so. And I guess I'm going to put it here. And where did it go? Oh yeah, it's right here. Just push that down and did I miss it? There we go. There we go. Pull the crown out. Put the crown inside here. And now the question is, came with the extra stem, the movement, but I won't need that because I'm just going to reuse the crown. It should all just fit and work because the architecture on the inside of these movements are essentially the same, at least. Yeah, at least the crown and stem part of it. So I'm going to pop this guy out. And what we're going to do is try to compare. I'm just going to look at this and compare the movement. Just trying to gauge whether or not, just position it the same way. So, something like that. Yeah, so I'm not going to need to move the date disc, swap it over, because these are designed to work with it at the 4 o'clock, or rather 3:45. So remember, whenever I did my Seiko SKX mods, whenever I swapped out the 7S26 movement for the NH, because I wanted the hacking and hand winding, I don't like the, the standard one. You have to do the shake to get that, and it doesn't hack, or does it? It might hack, but you still have to wind it. But anyways, yes, when I did that, I always remember I'd have to switch because I had an NH36. I'd replace it with usually because it has a date disc, unless I went with a dial with only a date. But usually I still kept the day. So the day disc is what needs to be changed because that just the rotation just cannot follow and be aligned with the crown at the 430 and the date. That's at the 3 like that. It's just doesn't work. So you'd have to switch that out. But I never had to switch out the date. That always was just fine the way it is. So I guess I can put it on and test it. But before I do, I'm just looking at these two movements here. What I'm looking at actually is this plastic bracket that's around the movement. And what I should look at too really is see, I was hoping I didn't have to go into it and take out the, swap out the pieces, but I can see, I don't know if you can tell, that the one on the NH right here, the 6R, that plastic piece is just a little bit, well, you know what, let me compare equal sides here, because maybe one side is actually lower, but it looks thicker on this side, right? Let me see if is it actually that thick on the other side? Well, yeah. I think this part and this part, you see there's a little notch here, as there is right in there. You can make that out. Those are the same, I guess, size. And if I compare them side to side, I'm looking at it, the black one is definitely deeper. And what does that mean exactly? Well, I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. Switch this around so I can see where is the stem coming into the movement over on this side on this guy. So I'm just trying to gauge. Yeah, this piece of plastic comes down lower. I think I should swap it out just to be safe. Make sure it fits exactly the same way as the old movement does. Now, these things are a little tricky to remove. I think the main issue is that I really did not want to have to remove the date disc, but there's only like these small little parts underneath the date disc right there. See, there's like this hole right here, and there's like a little, I don't know, plastic bit that kind of goes around it, right? And there's another piece right about here, and those are just underneath the date disc, and I don't think I can get past it without removing the date disc. And to remove the date disc, I got to unscrew this plate on top. And I don't know, it's just finicky work, which I kind of don't want to do. And I'm not entirely sure, but it's possible that, yeah, once I undo that, there may be some other pieces underneath, which might be loose, which might fall out too. So I'm going to probably pause this because I'm going to need to get this camera out of my face and get up close and look at this, and I'll work on it and see. Let me try to play around and see if I've done it, I think, before. Try to pry this out without removing the date disc, but I don't think it's really recommended, because then you could risk possibly breaking the disc, right? Because there's not that much clearance for it to pass by here. Let me see if I push this over slightly. It's just kind of not enough. I'm just trying to think how this thing is being held in. I think it's just all friction. It should just pop right out. Yeah, it just pops right out. But I really do not want to have to to remove the date disc. Is there a way I can get around this? Yeah, I just kind of pulled on this. If you can see, that kind of popped out from the edges. I wonder if I attacked it from one side. Like this side has, well, I thought one of these sides had a little bit of, yeah, like right here. See, there's a little bit of give in the date disc right here. Here's a push down on it, see? Kind of bounce this a little bit. I'm wondering if that's just enough for me to, if I can get this side undone, then this side can like come out this way and get around it. I might have enough space. What the heck, I'm gonna just try it. Because I believe that's what I did before. Because I love removing any components that I don't need to mess with. What is locking this thing down here? Okay, there. I'm pulling up on it. I might break the teeth on this thing. I mean, okay. I better do it the right way. I'm gonna have to unscrew this plate, and my guess is it's going to be at least, I don't think this is part of it. This looks like it's, I don't know, it might be, but I'm gonna slowly hit at least, can you see this? 1, 2, 3, these three here. And my dumbass forgot one thing. Before I removed the hand stack, I should have, from the dial and all that, I should have, I usually take a picture of it to see like exactly what the height is for all of that. I just noticed that the second like column or pin that's in here for the second hand is just a tiny bit. Well, I thought, well, I'm tripping. It shouldn't be higher than this one. No, it should be the same. Anyway, so I'm going to try just removing 1, 2, 3, but it might need this 4 screw, and we'll see. Should I record this? Let's see what we do here. You move this to the side, out of the way. Is this small enough? Let me go with this one size smaller. It's really useful to have decent, I don't know, actually, these are the best quality screwdrivers, like mini one, but they are generally thin enough to get into these small slots of these screw heads. What is this piece of lint doing in here? Gosh, removing these things are a pain in the butt. Because if I use tweezers, there's a good chance they just will kind of pop out from the tweezers and just spring out. And that really sucks. But I think hopefully my Rodica will just let it stick to it like that. And what am I going to do with this? Okay, fine. I will put it in the tray over here on this side. This is the one for this movement. Hopefully all these screws should be the same size. So I'm going clockwise. What the heck? Clockwise. Can you see this? I know my hand's blocking it. Oh, see, just gotta go gentle. As soon as it starts to come out, slow down. Setting these things back in is what's going to be a pain in the butt too. Let me tell you. I pray there isn't something that I forgot that's going to come out too when I remove this plate. And I'm almost certain there will be. There's usually something else. Okay. There. Let's see, is that enough to remove it? Or is it still set? And it's probably still set by this one last screw right there. Because otherwise it would be pretty loose by now. Like if it was completely unsecured. There you go. See that whole thing just shifted. And, you know, just to get these delicate pieces back in alignment, it's scary. All right. Use my tweezers here. Where can I grab? All right, well, this big hole here, just remember, or I guess I got that as a reference to the other movement. You know, it's basically the same. Just try to carefully remove this so that that. Yeah, see this wheel right here? This thing could pop out too, because I don't think there's anything holding it down other than that plate that was on top of it, if I recall. And potentially, that's all these little things here. The spring here, I think, for making the date click over. Oh well, let's see what we're going to do here. How am I going to remove this? I should have reviewed some videos on this before I attempted it, but you know. Okay, there we go. No! See, that whole plate just popped up here, this one. I do not want anything else to move. And this little wheel here, it's kind of on the verge. Oh my god, did it already just pop out? Well, we'll see what happens. Again, I consider this movement shot anyways. It's running, I can see the heart beating. Okay, now I should be able to just... See, I want to get this out, but I gotta be careful not to mess with the rest of it. Damn. I really don't want the rest of those pieces falling out. Gotta be careful I don't touch the balance wheel on the other side too. Can you see all that? I don't want to go too close because then I could move it out of frame and then you'd never see anything but like the top of my knuckles. Just slowly. I don't want this guy to leave. Stay put however you were supposed to be. I think this wheel does kind of like shift a little bit. It's the way it, I think, works underneath here, but God dang it. If only this thing was the same size as the one that was on the NH, then I wouldn't have to fiddle with this. Okay. I got that out. Now, let's put this aside here somewhere. And then, I guess I want to reverse this. I want to put the date disc back on here. Because I kind of want to just reassemble it. I don't necessarily need to put that black piece back on, or like the one from that one. I don't need to necessarily put it back on. just drop it down. See how this fits. I don't know. Maybe once everything's assembled, it'll just kind of start to fit back together. Oh my gosh, I just noticed something too. There's like a small little gear underneath here, underneath this plate. I hope it doesn't drop out. And I'm not sure where it goes over. Let me see if I can get my bearings on here. Okay, so this thing goes right over here. So this piece, I'm imagining, just trying to look on. Okay, I can see it on. Oh, there are some differences in components, I think. I could be wrong, but I think this piece right here, that's the plastic one, unless it's this one. Let's see, screw, screw. Yeah, there's that metal piece there. And okay, I got it. That little gear goes right in between here somehow. Jeez. Let me see. I'm just kind of test fitting it, seeing if everything's kind of falling into place more or less. I don't know, maybe if I start screwing it in, it'll be fine. This line like that. Alright, well, it's just a matter of just start putting the screws back in, which is going to be the problem. Get them on the right side up. Don't move. Can you see this? Let me see if I can zoom up. Sorry, it's so far away, but I'm trying to let me move this slightly higher. No, don't pull it out. Starting that initial turn, making sure it's inside the threads is probably the trickiest part, because sometimes you just can't get it in there. Okay, I'm not going to tighten it up yet because I have some other pieces. I'm going to slowly work it in. Because they're not perfectly aligned yet, so little by little they will be. Sometimes want to back thread it to see if it'll drop in properly into the threads, but screw it. Just to start the threads, to get it in is the trickiest part. Because you're not sure if it's aligned, and it's just you don't want to start screwing into the wrong spot. Okay, that one's in. trying to flip it over. I should have double checked to see if these pieces were magnetized. They look like there's a slight bit of magnetism on them. Oh well, again, same before, this movement is kind of shot anyways. It needs a bit of an overhaul and cleaning. Hold the movement and a bit of a re-lube, because as I mentioned, and what Spencer Klein has mentioned, is that these 6Rs that come out from the factory tend to be poorly or incorrectly lubed, rather over lubrication, and I guess that causes the irregularities that I've been experiencing, and some other people have too. So this is my test dummy here, just to make sure that, okay, when I go to the actual movement that I have over there, this is NH35, basically if I repeat this process that I got here in reverse, putting back in the plate here with the screws, it should just fall into place. Is that it? So the only other test really is, I used the original crown, so I won't pop it off of the new movement yet. Hopefully everything is fitted right. I think as long as I start turning it, it'll happen. Let's see, where is it? It should be about here. Looks about right. Yeah. There we go. I can feel the winding. The main thing is that moves. I can see the gears moving in the handset there. I mean, right underneath the plate. Okay. Now, one of these should engage the damn date disc. You know what I need to do? I think what I remember is loosen this up a little bit. It might be too tight. It needs a little bit of breathing space to maybe work its way back into place here. Let me see if that's right. See, this doesn't go anywhere. It goes, I see that, see, moving backwards. Careful, don't mess with the balance. Okay. This, when I go this way, the gear moves into a spot where it starts to engage the date disc. There we go. There we go. There you go. Click, click. And this should line up with this, right? Because if you had a crown at the 3, right, it should go right in line with that. So there we go. That's what I needed. Now I can lock it down. Now it's in place. I vaguely remember having to, I did mess with this once before, maybe twice, I don't know. Really, I tried to avoid switching that plastic piece around the movement whenever possible. I just kind of just left it, and if it was slightly off, it seemed to be okay, but I don't know, maybe those other ones before, the difference doesn't seem as big in terms of like that. Make sure this is working. Let's go back. Click, click, click. There we go. Oh, good. And that's that. And then, like I was saying, little piece right there popped out, so I'm just gonna take this crown back because I need that when I put it into, well, when I put the new movement back into the watch. Let me move it over here because I don't have leverage to pull it. Yeah, that's why I should be using the case holder. You know, this is the first time I've used one of these. It better fit too. Why does it seem like it's kind of off? Holding onto the date disc, right? That's what I'm worried about. Right. Oh, I did it a little higher. I hope. How the heck do you use one of these? Jeez. Amateur hour. This doesn't even sit right. This doesn't feel right. It's like holding onto the date disc, man. What the heck? Why can't I get the clearance? Okay, maybe like that. Oh, what the heck was I doing? No, I was trying to remove the damn stem. There we go. Okay. Take this out. I guess I'll just bag this and stick it away. One of these days I will swap out the not swap out, get that thing serviced. Now, onwards to the new movement. So, let's see. I guess ideally it was, that's why you might need that bracket. It's to hold on to something other than directly onto the movement itself, perhaps? I don't know. That looks about right. Though, the crown should be over on this side. I don't know. I never needed one of these. You know, that whenever I was working my mods, I just did it just on just a flat surface, and I didn't care. I don't know why it feels like it's not holding on evenly. What the heck is going on? Why can't it hold on to this thing evenly? Shouldn't it just clamp on? Why are you making this so difficult? I just want to just change the plastic piece here. I was thinking of switching the rotor too, because that one feels a little bit more substantial for some reason. I wonder if it is. No, it's about the same thickness. Anyways, that will be tucked away, and maybe someday I'll get that service and go through all this again. I don't know. Oops, sorry, I'm off of the camera. Let me zoom back out. Anyways, let's pop this crown out. Can probably just I'll put it with this extra stem. Go there with this movement. Tuck that away later. All right. Now on to the fun part, right? Well, there is nothing I can do to hold that movement in place at this point. Yeah, so I got a plastic one. It should be good, but I've not used one before. That's why it's kind of weird that I wasn't really getting the right hold on it. At least I don't think it was. Yeah, so same song and dance. Maybe I'm gonna stop this video and then I'm gonna come back and show you when I'm done, because it's basically the same thing as what I just did on the 6R. Just I'm gonna fit that new plastic piece onto here, and yep, that's it. So I'm gonna come back.